Mr. Bryce Young, looking forward to a promising career with him as far as being the number 1 draft pick heading over to Carolina. A lot to prove on his shoulders. We all know, you all know, that Carolina is a team where quarterbacks and wide receivers go to die. Sorry, Carolina fans. It's just the reality of it.
Can Bryce Young lead those Panthers, let's say, on a deep playoff run? What do you think as a rookie?
When you say deep, when we're talking about an NFC championship game, because you'd say no. I mean, let's start with a division. They can win that division because there is opportunity there. But to go on a run, that would be something that you would not expect, especially when as a rookie quarterback, you're going to be dealing with an adjustment period. Also, what you wonder about there is that they brought in some veteran wide receivers to help him out make the adjustment as an NFL quarterback. But Adam Thielen, is he going to stay healthy? DJ Chark, is he going to stay healthy, which has been an issue for him of late? So those are 2 areas of major concern for them. It doesn't mean they can't have a good season. And when you look at this division, there is opportunity at least to win it and a chance to make the playoffs.
So, I mean, he's absolutely right. The Carolina Panthers do have a chance specifically in that division if they can have all the pieces come together and work things out with that defense. All right, let's continue on with the video.
Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, it's hard to say deep playoff run. It's really not about Bryce Young. It's actually about the defense. If you look at it through history,
did I say defense?
There have been 14.
Wait. Did not say defense. I said defense. That's the most important thing for the Panthers. Obviously, there's got to be work with the offense, but the defense is the most important issue with Carolina. Let's keep it going.
Quarterbacks to start in the playoffs, and guys who have actually won playoff games, 3 of the last 4. Think about guys like Brock Purdy, guys like Mark Sanchez. These guys had, even Russell Wilson back in 2012, they had defenses that were not only top 5, these were the number 1 defenses in the NFL. I played defense, I played linebacker. I get it. When you have I've played with rookie quarterbacks. Your defense has to be a top 5 defense, historically speaking, to make a deep playoff run, i.e. win in the playoffs. So the question is not about Bryce Young, nor should it be about Frank Reich. It's about how good can this defense be if they want to make a playoff run this season.
So there you have it. The defense is definitely going to be the key factor in regards to what happens with the Panthers and whether or not they're going to actually be able to make any kind of run, let alone a playoff run. But getting into the story as far as Mr. Bryce and how much he's going to be paid. So the Carolina Panthers signed quarterback Bryce Young to a 4-year deal on Friday that will allow the top pick of the 2023 NFL Draft to report to training camp on schedule. The $37.9 million deal includes $24.6 million signing bonus and is fully guaranteed, a source told ESPN's Adam Schefter. The Panthers rookies are scheduled to report to training camp Saturday in Spartanburg, South Carolina. The team's first full practice takes place Wednesday. Young was last of Carolina's rookies to sign and the first of the 3 quarterbacks taken among the top 4 picks of the NFL Draft to sign. C.J. Stroud taken second overall by the Houston Texans, and Anthony Richardson selected 4th by the Indianapolis Colts remain unsigned. Now, here's the thing. There's so much so many issues right now going on with not just the running backs, but even quarterbacks. I'm not signing anything until I get what I want to get money-wise. It is really an interesting time for the NFL. In a sense, I'm not mad that people want the most that they can get to maximize their leverage or leverage what they can maximize. But at the same time, there comes to a place where it's like, if you guys are willing to miss out on training camp and things like that just for money, and you come out and you play terrible in week 1 through week 5, and your team doesn't have any chance of really balling, you're going to get flamed by everybody. So we'll see how this goes with all these other guys holding out in regards to contracts and things like that, and whether or not it's going to become an issue moving forward for the seasons to come. Goes on to say Carolina traded with the Chicago Bears to move from the 9th pick to 1st overall. The 2021 Heisman Trophy winner at the University of Alabama will enter training camp as a starter ahead of veteran Andy Dalton. So you're going to have Andy Dalton at the 2nd. We'll get into that later. Young was promoted to first team during June off-season workouts. He's expected to be the Week 1 starter against the Atlanta Falcons on September 10th, where he'll go against Desmond Ridder and company. The 5'10", 204-pound Young impressed Carolina coach Frank Reich and his staff from the get-go with his ability to process and learn the new system. While he still has to prove himself in pads during training camp, Young has already met expectations that the Panthers had when they first targeted him. So there you go. Mr. Bryce Young's getting $37.9 million, signed the contract. He's ready to ball out and ready to go for these Panthers. Now, let's get into the depth chart. Obviously, for your Panthers, Bryce Young's going to be starting. Andy Dalton's on the second, followed by rookie Matt Corral. Miles Sanders coming over. Miles is on the Eagles, right? Yeah, Eagles. Followed by Chuba. He's going to move to second. Raheem Blackshear, and then Spencer Brown on the fourth. Mr. Adam Thielen coming over from the Vikings. So this is going to be interesting. He's got some tools. There's some tools on this offense. Things are coming together. Adam Thielen, Jonathan Mingo, Demir Bird, and then Marquez Stevenson on the fourth. Wide receiver DJ Clark, Laveska Chenault, CJ Saunders, and Gary Jennings. Wide receiver Terrace Marshall Jr., Shai Smith, Derek Wright, Josh Van. Tight end Hayden Hurst, Ian Thomas, Tommy Tremble, Giovanni Ricci. Your fullback's going to be Giovanni Ricci. And then left tackle Ikem Ikwanu. Left guard Brady Christensen. Center Bradley Boozman. And right guard's Austin Corbett, followed by right tackle Taylor Motton. If there's any year for Carolina to get something right, here it is. You've got some great wide receivers. You've got a great running back in Miles Sanders. You have a decent offensive line to give Bryce Young that time to pass the ball. Here's the thing that I see with Bryce Young. He's a shorter quarterback, 5'10". Now, for me, and this is my personal opinion, I think you'd want your quarterback to be at least 6'1", right, to see over that offensive line. We're going to see him scrambling out of that pocket a lot because of that height. If you remember, there's very few short quarterbacks that are able to actually make plays that actually win and have a proven system of winning. I'm looking at maybe Drew Brees, the last one to actually do that. But he was 6 foot. So 5'10" is definitely going to be a big difference in regards to what we see and how he's able to play as a quarterback in the NFL. Listen, yes, college is barely a step down, but it's way different when you play in the league. Way different when you play in the NFL league, as far as with height and things like that. Shout out to Jonas, says, but their wideouts are nothing like Kupp, honestly. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. Kupp is definitely one of a kind. You know, Cooper Kupp's one of a kind, but DJ Clark should definitely ball out if he's being utilized properly. Thielen, that man's a train. He can take a hit. He's going to bring the ball down, take a hit, so I definitely expect to see him ball. So the big question is whether or not is Bryce going to be able to get the ball to them, more so than them actually being the threat that we know they can be. Continuing on, getting into the defense, we've got Henry Anderson, Shai Tuttle, Derek Brown, Brian Burns, Shaq Thompson, Frankie Laveau, Marcus Haynes Sr., Dante Jackson, Von Bell. For your safeties, Xavier Woods, and then J.C. Horn. And then on your special teams, you have Eddie Pinheiro, Johnny Hecker, Shai Smith, Raheem Blackshear, and then J.J. Hansen for your long snapper. Nancy says Mingo was drafted as a wide receiver. Let's see here. Hold on. Mr. Jonathan Mingo. Let's get into it. Yeah, from Ole Miss. 6'2", 225, 22 years old. Let's look at the stats for Mr. Jonathan Mingo. Let's get these stats up here. Let's see what he did. Jonathan Mingo had, let's go last season, 51 receptions on 861 yards. He averaged 16, which is nice. 5 touchdowns, 72 for the long. Yeah, I like it. Definitely like it. So, whether or not, like I said, these guys are going to ball out, it's really going to depend on if Mr. Bryce Young, this guy right here, at 5'10", 194 pounds, going to be able to get them the ball. All right. Now, I'm not going to get into last season, right? This is a whole new team, whole new season. So we're just going to address the season and go on from there. Week 1, they're going against Atlanta, the Falcons. Week 2 is going to be against the Saints. That's going to be a Monday night-ish. We know that Monday night games start at 8 o'clock, not 7 o'clock. I'm assuming this is one of those Monday night games where it's a Monday night game at 7 and 8. Yes, but we'll have to figure that all out. We'll take care of it. But they go against New Orleans, against 7:15 Monday night game on week 2. Week 3 is going to be against the Seattle Seahawks. Week 4 against Minnesota. Week 5 against the Lions. Week 6 against Miami. They go into a bye week 7. Week 8 is going to be against Houston. Week 9 is going to be against the Colts. Week 10 is going to be against the Bears. Week 11, Cowboys, Titans, Buccaneers, Saints again, Falcons again, Green Bay, Jacksonville Jaguars, and then they'll go against Tampa Bay again. As far as the preseason goes, they'll go against the Jets, Giants, and then the Lions before they start against Atlanta. So, who do I have these guys winning against? Well, for me, it's going to be 50-50 against Atlanta. Once again, we got to see what's going to happen. It's really hard to determine what's going to, who's going to win these games opposed to the dominant teams that we know that should win. But I'm going to say 50-50 against the Falcons, 50-50 against the Saints. I'm going to give Geno and company week 3. I'm going to give Kirk Cousins week 4. Lions week 5. I mean, you've got if you get a healthy Tua, I don't see them beating Miami. I'll give them the Texans. Colts got another young team. 50-50 there. Bears, I'm going to go ahead and give the Bears that one. Dallas Cowboys with that defense, I just don't know how they're going to be able to actually do anything against the Cowboys there. Titans, another young matchup, 50-50. I got them probably beating the Buccaneers. The rematch the Saints. Atlanta, same thing. Green Bay. Like I said, everything has shaken up this year, especially with the rookies taking over. You really don't know who's going to do what and what's going to happen until we get to probably week 4, week 5. We got to look at tape on all these guys. And that's just the reality of it. So, like I said, defense is going to be one of the biggest factors as far as with the Panthers and whether or not they're going to actually be able to excel and give Bryce Young and company the chances that they need to make plays so that they can score and win some of these close games. Because I do think a lot of these games will be close, and I don't think it's going to be a blowout in any way, shape, or form on some of the games like Atlanta, Saints. I'd even say Seahawks. It'll probably be a close game. If, Seattle does win, it'll be close. But yeah, that's where your defense is going to come into play. So, shout out to Nancy, says Bryce has been dealing with being small his entire career. He knows what to do. I hope so. It's really interesting to see a quarterback at 5'10", to see what he can do in this kind of league, But hey, I'm excited to see it. Jonas says Baker has the most experience in this division. Bucks, Falcons, Panthers, and Saints. I don't trust Baker. I really don't. I think Kyle Trask comes in on week 3. That's just my take on that. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Will Bryce Young have his moments of shine? Of course. I definitely think he's gonna come out there on certain games and ball out, but he's gonna have his work cut out for him from week 3 to week 6. That is for sure. So that's definitely going to show whether or not he's cut out for the league, whether or not he has that motivation, that determination to be at the top of his game and lead this franchise to where they need to go.